Hello everyone and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. I'm Fizz and I'm joined by Charlotte, my AI Copilot for this series. Charlotte, why don't you say hi to everybody and introduce yourself to those who have not met you before.
Hello everyone, I'm Charlotte, your AI Copilot for today's Kerbal Space Program mission. If you're new here, welcome. I assist with mission planning, calculations, and offer technical advice. Let's get this mission started.
All right, thank you, Charlotte. And for those of you who don't know, I'm using ChatGPT-4 to use Charlotte as my AI Copilot. This is actually a really cool function of ChatGPT-4 where you can talk to it and it will respond. And you can actually give it parameters and tell it exactly how you want it to respond. So in this case, Charlotte knows that she's in this video with me. She knows the videos are about Kerbal Space Program and she responds as the role of an AI Copilot, basically. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So in the last episode, we actually did a Mun landing, and it was pretty intense. So at this time, we're actually going to do something a little bit more chill, I guess, and that's going to be putting a couple of satellites in orbit. So we've got a satellite that they want in an orbit around Kerbin, and we have a satellite that they want in orbit around the Mun. There's also another one to put a satellite in a geosynchronous orbit. So actually, I did mention what a geosynchronous orbit was last episode, but I'll get Charlotte to explain it this time. Charlotte, can you explain to everybody what a geosynchronous orbit is?
Certainly. A KEO, or Kerbal Equatorial Orbit, is an orbit around the planet Kerbin where a satellite's orbital period matches Kerbin's rotation period. This means the satellite will appear to hover over a fixed point on the planet's equator. This is analogous to a geosynchronous orbit around Earth. The altitude for a KEO around Kerbin is approximately 2,863.33 kilometers. This type of orbit is often used for communication satellites or observational platforms in the game.
Well, yeah, she definitely explained it better than I did last episode, so thank you very much for that, Charlotte. Okay, so we're going to actually build a new craft, which will be the craft that we'll use to launch satellites into space. So what I'm actually going to do is, you know what, we can probably go with the orbital rocket for this. So let's load that. Okay, we're going to do something similar to what we did for the Mun mission. So I'm going to put some radial decouplers here, these guys, and we're going to attach them right here. So we're going to need 4 of them. And we're going to put them right, actually 3 might be fine. Yeah, we'll put them right there, and then we're gonna put some fuel tanks over here. Oh, probably the 400s, because we're gonna want to get into a specific orbit, so there might be some tinkering involved with that. Okay, so those are attached, and then we want to get the nose cones on here. Boom, just like that. Okay, now we need to fix the staging for this, so that's fine. These guys are gonna want to go up here somewhere. Okay, and then we want to add some more carriers, just like last time, underneath. And actually, one thing I noticed last time was that the ambient sounds were still kind of high. But I might lower that a little bit, or the engine noises anyways. I'll see if I can fix that. So anyway, so these engines here are gonna fire at the same time as this one, right? Yeah, and then we want the fuel duct here. So we want to attach that to this guy. Okay, for the asparagus staging, basically. Now, in the previous video, I actually was firing these engines independently of this one. But in this one, I'm actually going to fire them all at the same time. So that's more typical of what asparagus staging should be, because all of these are firing at the same time, but this middle fuel tank is going to be filled by these ones as these drain also. Okay. So we want to use these ones to get ourselves into position, and then we want to release the actual satellite. So in that case, that's gonna happen here. So we need a decoupler. This one. No, we just want it on the middle one here. No, not that one. This one. Okay, there we go. And then we want to build this, the satellites. So for that, we need a probe core. So we'll use this one. Remote core. Probably this one. We don't need this command pod. We can actually get the probe core to just bring itself up. So let's do this. Let's get rid of all that. And then, so we want this thing to be the actual point where the craft is controlled. I can't remember how to do that. Let's ask Charlotte. Hey Charlotte, how do I change what the default control pod is? Well, I'm actually in the vehicle assembly building.
Ah, if you're in the vehicle assembly building, VAB, and looking to set a different part as the default control point for your craft, you can do so by right-clicking on the part, like a command pod or probe core, and choosing the Control from Here option. However, be aware that this setting may not always persist when you actually launch the craft. Another way to designate a default control part is to make it the root part of your spacecraft. To set a part as the root, you can use the Reroute tool, which looks like two circular arrows in the top left toolbar. Click that, then click on the part you want to make the new root. Setting the root part may affect how your spacecraft is assembled, so proceed with caution. You'll also want to ensure that the root part is a sensible choice for control, like a command pod or a probe core.
Amazing. Thank you, Charlotte. You solved it. See, she's so useful. Okay. That's great.
You're welcome. Glad I could assist with your vehicle assembly building issue. If you have more questions or run into other challenges, feel free to ask.
Definitely will do that. Okay, so now we've got the probe core now as the main part of the ship here. Let's see. Okay, so we want communication. So we want to have a antenna. So let's put that up top here. That one's probably fine, I think. It might be better to use this one actually. Okay. And then we need batteries. So that would be under electrical. Probably just 2 of these would be good. And then we need solar panels. So these guys, 3, no, 2 is probably enough. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so I don't think anything is going to be blocking that. Oh, why do I have 2 things there? Oh, because I was, yeah, that's why. I remember. Okay, so that's that. So that should be enough, I believe. This thing should be able to control itself. Yeah, okay. I think we're good. So last check of staging. So now we can actually make these fire at the same time again. So that's fine. Okay. What's this 0 here? We don't need that. Alright, we're good. So this is going to be called Satellite Delivery Rocket. SDR. I just realized that we actually need a thermometer on this thing. Because if you check the quest, or the mission, let's see, where is it? Position a satellite in geosynchronous orbit. So this one, have a thermometer on the satellite. Yeah. So science. And thermometer. We could just put one right here. We could put a barometer on also. Just oops, that's not a barometer. Let's see. Yeah, right there. Can pop one there. Okay, that should be good. Now, we have solar panels, we have batteries, we have the thermometer, we have... yeah, we're good. The barometer. Oh, you know what? One thing that I should add are struts. So we need structural. Let's add, yeah, 3 times. So we got some there, and let's add some to the top. All right, good enough. Looks kind of weird, but whatever. Okay, I think this thing's ready to go. So we will head to the launch pad. All right, Charlotte, you ready to get this satellite delivery mission underway?
Absolutely, Fizz. Let's guide that satellite into its designated orbit around Kerbin. Ensure all systems are a go, and let's proceed with the launch. If you have any questions or need assistance during the flight, just let me know. Safe travels!
Sounds good. Okay, so here we have the apoapsis of 3,326,811 meters, and then the periapsis needs to be 2,399,857 meters. So really what we want to do is we want to just get a stable orbit first, and then we want to push out to these areas. But what I would think, another thing we could do is we could just go straight up until our apoapsis is at that point, but I don't think that's a good way of doing it. But let's just try the normal way. So we want to launch, and then at 100 meters per second, we want to push towards 90 degrees. And that should be good. Now, this is a probe core. It doesn't have a pilot. So this is all being controlled remotely. So this probe core is a pretty basic one. It doesn't have the prograde and retrograde markers, so we have to fly this thing quite manually. It does have stability assist, but we do have to follow the prograde marker kind of on our own, which is not a big deal. Alright, so we're going to lose these in a second here. Okay, and we're going to launch this guy. Whoa! Okay, we need to lower the thrust. Alright, we're kinda a little bit off course here. That's okay, we can get back on. We do have an inclination on the orbit, so it's not a huge deal if we don't go straight equatorial, but it would be nice to, you know, oops, wrong rotation. Rotating it the wrong way. Okay, the rotation's not a big deal. I just like 90 degrees to be on the right. It's just better that way. Okay, so let's do that, and then give it a little bit more thrust. Okay, come on, rotate, man. Okay, this thing doesn't want to rotate. That's fine. Let's just get back up here. Why isn't it letting me rotate? There we go. Nope, doesn't want to. Alright, let's just give it max thrust here. We're climbing pretty slow. But that's because we kind of lost our control a little bit too early. Well, we lost control early on. That kind of messed us up. Let's see. We can get this thing. It really wants to. It's really trying to flip. But I'm fighting it. Alright. Once we start getting to the thinner parts of the atmosphere, it should be a little bit easier. Let's get this back over this way. Not sure why this thing is so out of control. Alright, well, we're gonna lose this engine shortly. A lot earlier than I wanted to lose it, to be honest. See what happens when we ditch this engine. Okay. Go. Alright. This should be much easier to control now. We managed to stick to 90 pretty good though, the heading. So that's good at least. Okay, so these engines should get us into a 70 kilometer apoapsis. And then we can start pushing towards prograde now. Not worried about this thing tipping over anymore. Okay, let's cut that. And then let's wait until we get to minus 45. I'm not too concerned about my apoapsis being higher. Like I said, we're going to want to push it up higher anyway. So that's all fine. I'm going to go faster here. A little faster. Alright, there we go. Now we want to just give it a little bit of thrust. Try and hover around that 45-second mark. And push back over to this apoapsis here. Sorry, the prograde marker. I always say apoapsis, but I mean prograde. I don't know why. Oh, 38. We need to give it more thrust. 38 is also not terrible, but it's going down still, so let's give it a little bit more. We don't want to reach the apoapsis because remember the apoapsis is the highest point of your orbit. So if you're not in an orbit yet and you reach the highest point, there's only one way to go at that point, and that's down. And down is bad if you don't have an orbit yet. So we should be getting into one shortly here. We're getting a little bit... Yeah, let's stop here. Let's push... Ooh, too much. Alright. I think we'll be fine. Yeah, totally fine. There we go. Alright, we got an orbit now. So now we want to line ourselves up over here. So the first thing we need to do is we need to check. So the ascending node here is 21 degrees on this side, and it's going to be minus 21 on this side. So we want to match the tilt over here. So, but let's check the mission. So the mission that we're doing is the one with the thermometer. Hold on a second. Oh, this is a different one. This is the MUN one. That one needs a Science Junior on it. This one, it's not this one. That's this one out here. That's actually no. Yeah, that's that one. Okay, so that's pretty far out. That's gonna be a tough one to do because the moon's gonna kind of. I might not do that one actually. Okay, so this one. Let's see. So the longitude of ascending node is 264.6, and the argument of periapsis is 286. The inclination is 21.1 degrees. Okay. So what we want to do first is we want to let's see. We want to match the tilt first. So let's go over here-ish, I think. And then we want to pull on this. Is it going the right way? No. We want to pull on that. And we want to pull on that until the inclination is 21.1. Is it? No, it's going the wrong way. Okay, so it was this one. Can't see it. Okay, here. That way, right? Yeah, 19. 21.1. So let's see. Yeah, so that looks about right. So then we want to, oh, we're already at the point where we want to start burning. So let's aim this guy. Now this thing doesn't have much electrical charge, so we want to make sure that we're keeping an eye on that so that we can recharge the batteries once they die. Okay, we're kind of way off the... Okay. So we're tilting now. And okay. So there goes these ones. So let's get rid of those guys. And then we'll keep on burning here. We want to watch the inclination. Okay, it's getting there. .1. Okay, good. Okay, now we have plenty of fuel, so I'm not too worried about that. So now what we need to do is we need to get the apoapsis out to there. So before we do that, we want to change the longitude of the ascending node and the argument of periapsis. We have to kind of match those. So let's ask, I don't remember exactly what to do with getting that. So let's ask Charlotte. Okay, Charlotte, so they want the argument of periapsis to be 286 degrees, and I am currently at 185 degrees. How do I go about increasing that?
To adjust the argument of periapsis, you'll typically perform a maneuver at either the ascending or descending node of your orbit. The argument of periapsis is the angle between the ascending node and the periapsis of the orbit. Given that you want to increase the argument of periapsis from 185 degrees to 286 degrees, you'll need a change of 101 degrees. Here's how to achieve that. Identify the ascending or descending node. First, find out if you need to perform your burn at the ascending or descending node. If your current orbit is inclined, these nodes will be the points where your trajectory crosses the target orbit's plane. Burn radially or anti-radially. Once you're at the appropriate node, create a maneuver node. Adjust the node to give you radial in or radial out burns. This will shift your periapsis around the orbit without significantly changing your apoapsis. Remember that these maneuvers will also use up some of your delta V, so ensure you have enough fuel to both adjust the orbit and complete the rest of your mission tasks.
Okay, Charlotte, thanks for that. But is it better to match the orbit first, the apoapsis and the periapsis, before we make these corrections?
Yes, generally speaking, it's a good approach to match the apoapsis and periapsis of your target orbit first before making fine adjustments such as changing the argument of periapsis.
Okay, so let's do that first. So let's go out to the periapsis. Let's go out to the apoapsis, and then we will push this out. We want to pull here. Okay. So let's get this out to kind of match up. Doesn't have to be perfect. So 2.9 million, and over here we have 3.3. So let's push it out a little bit more. 3. Let's go over here. 3.2. 3.3. Okay. All right. So then we warp to this side and speed up a little bit. 13-ish. That's good. All right, so this will put us out at the desired apoapsis, and then we want to push out to the desired periapsis. Okay, so now let's go out to the apoapsis and let's do the same thing. We'll push out the periapsis to, what is it? 2.399. Okay, and then we point to where we need to point. Alrighty, and let's just make sure again that we're not, yeah, so now we're starting to dip into our battery a little bit. So now let's burn, and we want the periapsis to be 2.39, 2.38, yeah, close enough. Okay. All right, so now we're kind of in the same thing, but our orbit is not matched up to where they want us to be at. So that's the part that we have to fix now. So now to do that, Charlotte was saying that we need to identify the ascending or descending node. Okay, so that's pretty much okay. We want to burn radially or anti-radially on that point. Okay, so if we go over here, for example, let's cancel this. If we go over here and we add a maneuver, this doesn't do anything, does it? Oh, yeah, okay. That's what we need to do. Okay. Apoapsis. So these need to be, oh. Okay, let's just do this first. Just get them lined up somewhat. There we go. Okay, and then let's warp to that side, and then we can push them in and out once we get this sorted out. The inclination is not right again. Well, we'll fix that. It won't be right once we do this, so. All right, we're at that point now. Now we want to go over here. These satellite missions are not terribly interesting. I'm probably going to cut out a bunch of the boring stuff here, but yeah, you'll have already seen that happen if I did do that. So it's a short burn, very short burn. So let's go down to that point. And then at 2 seconds, we want to burn for 4 seconds. There we go. Okay, so now we need to switch. Okay, so right now our apoapsis is over here. They want the periapsis to be here because this is, for my orbit, this is the highest point. So we need to switch those. So the way we do that is we just push on, go to the periapsis and press on that. And okay, so but see the problem is that's gonna reduce. Okay, so let's just get to, actually no, this is fine. So we want this to be 2.399. There we go. Okay, and then we want to come out over here, warp to here. And then we want to push the apoapsis out. This is getting pretty close. Okay, so, yep. So we want that to be 3.326. Oh, we did it. Okay. Now we just need to maintain stability. They didn't need it to be exact, so this is good. For 10 seconds, and we're done. Okay, so this satellite is in position. So what we can do now is we can find the sun. Where's the sun? There it is. Make sure that this thing is pointing the solar panel towards the sun. Yeah, there we go. So that's done, and then we'll just deactivate we'll shut down the engine, and that's pretty much it. So there we go, first satellite delivered. All right, Charlotte, the first satellite is now in position, and we're going to return ourselves back to the Space Center.
Sounds like a plan, Fizz. Once we're back at the Space Center, we can evaluate our next steps and see what other missions or upgrades are on the horizon.
Okay, so let's warp to sunrise. It's always nighttime when I come back. I mean, I guess technically we never really left because there was nobody on that flight. Okay, so we have $402,000. Okay, so our active contracts are here. So this is the one. So this one needs a new unmanned probe that has an antenna and can generate power. The probe must be fully assembled. Blah, blah, blah. Have an, yeah, Science Junior. Have a thermometer. So it's exactly the same mission, except it needs a Science Junior. So we should just literally be able to add a Science Junior onto this thing and we should be good. So let's do that. So let's put that, go to Science, Science Junior, that on there. There we go. Good enough. And I think, yeah, we should have more than enough delta V to accomplish this. And actually, before we go here, I'm going to just make a couple of minor adjustments. I'm going to put the thermometer over here and the barometer over here. And I'm going to add more solar panels because I was kind of nervous last time when we didn't have enough. Yeah, we kind of had a problem last time when I was, worried that we were going to lose our stuff, our electric charge. So yeah. You know what else? I didn't extend the I didn't extend the antenna on the other craft, but that's okay. The other thing is I think they should be happening at the same time as this. So let's do that. Okay. What I did was I put the decouplers on the same stage as firing this rocket. So. Alright. Oh. Start our turn at 100 meters per second. Never actually checked the thruster weight on this stuff. Oh wow, that's a lot. And that's not that much. Okay. That explains some stuff. Well, this thruster weight will go up as we lose fuel, so this one should be fine eventually. Okay, here we go. Okay. No. Spinning out. It's still spinning out. Alright, let's get back to 90. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do something about this. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We're good. We got control. Alright, so I think we're just gonna warp up time-wise so that you guys don't have to watch all this. I'll reconvene when we have our orbit. This is actually going much smoother than the last one. Okay, so we just ejected the swivel, the longer part of the rocket, and now I'm just trying to get stable again. Okay, now we can push towards the prograde. We got our apoapsis, so now let's cut this and float up to 45 seconds. Alright, we're coming up on our orbit here. Periapsis is now in the positives. There's camera change. We're almost there. Boom. Done. Alright, now we need to get out to the Mun. Oh, there's something out here. We don't have so one of the things that we can do is we can get a craft out to in an orbit around the sun, Kerbal, and we can use a telescope to find out what these objects are. They're like asteroids and comets and stuff, so it's kind of cool. But we're not quite there yet. Okay, so now where's the Mun? The Mun is over there. So we want to warp over here. So the idea is you want to be able to see the Mun rising over Kerbin. Before you start, there it is. Before you start actually trying to get to it. Okay, Charlotte, we're pushing out to the Mun now. We're increasing our apoapsis, and then we're gonna get into an orbit of the Mun, and we're gonna try and place our next satellite. Eject those guys.
Sounds like a solid plan, Fizz. Establishing orbit around the moon will be the first critical step, followed by positioning the satellite into its designated orbit. Let's proceed carefully and keep an eye on the remaining Delta V.
Oh, okay. What did I do? I think I got too close. All right, let's fix that. I'm on a collision course with the Mun now. 602. Okay, that's good. All right, so what we want to do now is we want to hibernate this guy because we don't want it to use power while we're warping out because that's a long trip and that's going to drain all the power out of this thing. So now we're going to warp. Okay, we're there now. Now we can unhibernate this thing. There we go. And we have how much power? Yeah, we're at full electric charge. At least one of our solar panels should be getting some sort of sunlight. Kinda, yeah. So I mean, we can rotate towards it a little bit until this is at like, and we can rotate this way. There we go. Good. So now that one's pointing towards the sun. Okay. So now we need to get ourselves into an orbit. So we're going to add a maneuver node at the periapsis, and then we're going to pull on the retrograde marker. And then we're going to pull in here. Okay, so now the satellite needs to be at 407 and 5. So it's almost a circular orbit, almost. So our periapsis is 600 and 321. We need to be 407. Okay, so let's pull it in a little bit more. Okay, there we go. All right, now we'll warp to that point. We'll fix the inclination after. Okay. So we have more than enough fuel to do this, so that's good. All right, now we need to time warp to the point where we can start our burn. There we go. And go. There we go. Done. Good enough. Okay, now we need to check to see what our tilt is in comparison to this one here. So what we want to do is probably around this point here. We want to start tilting. And we want to check the inclination. Oh wait, are we going the right way, first of all? We want to be going clockwise. We can fix that after. Okay, let's just get it kind of roughly where it needs to be. That looks about right. Okay, so let's just get into that inclination first. Kind of eyeball it. There we go. Okie doke. Now, let's just see what direction we're traveling. Pretty sure we're going the wrong way. Yeah, we are. Okay, so to fix that, we go over here, we add a maneuver node, and then we just basically put ourselves in a collision course, and we come back around the other side. Now, when we do that, we can actually make the adjustments that we need. So just bring this in around there. Okay, so our periapsis is 431. They want 407. So let's bring it in a little bit more. 409, 407. There we go. All right. Now we warp. Okay. This is going to take a lot of fuel, but we still have plenty, so it's okay. You got to make sure that you're entering the orbit in the right the right direction. But it's okay. We're good. All right. So let's get down to the point where we need to be. About 12 seconds. There we go. And then we're basically just flipping the orientation of the craft. You can see it's rotating right there. We're basically reversing our orbit, so that takes a tremendous amount of fuel. Okay, now we just want to watch the periapsis. It should be at 407. Kind of like making a U-turn with the car, right? Oh, perfect. Okay. Good. Now, we want to go out to the periapsis, and we want to bring in the... Okay, so now the node is different now. See, I don't know why it was saying 100 minus 155 before, but it's fine. Apoapsis is 408. Periapsis is 343. We want the periapsis to be 407. Okay, so we need to go out to here now. We don't... No maneuver. Let's just warp out to here. Now we're going the right direction, see? Okay. Alright. Now... Oh. Are we control locked? I think we are, because we're not on the correct side. Let's see. Let's extend this. I think we're control locked because, yeah, we're on the opposite side. Okay, so that's a problem. If there's something blocking the satellite, sorry, if there's something blocking the communication, then you can't do anything. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to time warp a little bit until we can see Kerbin again. That's gonna mess with us a little tiny bit. Okay, there we go. So we got communication back now. It's not too bad, but let's see. Okay, so what are we trying to do here? We want to bring the periapsis out to 407. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, no, it already is. We want to bring the apoapsis out to 534. So, yeah, 534. Okay, and the periapsis is at 405 now. Okay, now we just need to do that thing that we did last time. So let's go out to here. And then we'll just burn on the... let's add a maneuver, and then we'll just do this to kind of line up... Oh, wrong way. Line up the apoapsis and the periapsis. Okay. Almost there. Almost there. Boom. Okay. I was lining it up with the wrong parts. So this actually might do it. Okay. Then we just need to pull in the periapsis. Alright, now we just need to fix the tilt. So, and also the apoapsis is a little bit off now. So let's go out to the periapsis first. Warp here. And we'll fix the apoapsis. It's about 34,000 meters too high. Should be 534. There we go. Okay, now the tilt. So from the ascending node, we want to match the tilt, which is minus 5 degrees. Just needs to be reasonably close. And I'm just kind of eyeballing this because these numbers don't make sense. Alright, so let's warp over there. Okay, so we're just going to basically do this until we see the contract fulfilled. Oh, you know what? I think that changed the apoapsis and the periapsis now a little bit. Yeah, it did. Okay, 407. So let's get out here again. There's always a lot of tinkering that you have to do to get this stuff right. All right. Apoapsis needs to be 534. We're gonna get control locked again. Let's do this quick. 534. Done. That was close enough for them. Now we just have to maintain stability for 10 seconds, and then we're good. So while that's happening, let's see if we can do an experiment Conduct material study. And get some science. Yeah, we got 50 science. So we want to transmit this data. But let's just keep the experiment first. And then let's see if we can do this. Nope, we've already done those, so that's fine. We're not going to get the full science value, but it's close enough. Oh, you know why? Okay, why we weren't control locked because of the angle. See, that's good. So Kerbin's going to always kind of be, I think, in a position that we're... Okay, so let's send this data to Kerbin. I don't think we need to point towards the planet, but I'm going to do it anyway. I think that's good. Okay. I have no idea. All right. Good enough. Transmit data. Transmit all. So it's sending that scientific data, and it just finished. So we got 25 science from that. Okay, now we can close the doors. Perfect. Okay, now we can we can trash the contract because we completed it. And let's just make sure, let's shut down the engine. And we're getting sun here. Yeah, good enough. All right, now we can go back to the Space Center. Warp to sunrise. Okay, Charlotte, the second satellite has been delivered. We now have a satellite around Kerbin, and we have a satellite around the Mun.
Excellent. Mission objectives achieved. We've successfully deployed satellites around both Kerbin and the Moon. These will serve as valuable assets for data collection and future missions. What's next on our mission list?
Well, let's see what they have for us here.
Certainly. Once you review the available contracts and missions, we can strategize on which one aligns with our capabilities and goals.
Okay, so we have another one to plant a flag on the Mun, so we can take that. That's always a good one to do. Science data from the surface of the Mun, that's also a good one. And position the satellite in synchronous orbit of Minmus. Well, we haven't been to Minmus yet, but that might be a good next step to do, actually. Ferry tourists. Yeah, we could do that. Let's grab that one. So, yeah, they want a satellite. Oh, in a synchronous orbit. That's gonna be interesting. Okay. So it's basically, so they want a mystery goo. They want Science Junior. Reach designated synchronous orbit. Okay, that's not too bad. We can probably do that, but we're not going to do that this time. We're going to do that next time. They also oh yeah, we also have that. Okay, so we'll figure it out. Let's see. We have 105 science. Let's just check to see what we can get here. So let's get this. Let's get these rover wheels. Alrighty, well, I think that about does it for this episode. Charlotte, we are done this episode. We will pick up again next time. Can you please sign us off?
Of course. Thank you for joining us on this successful mission, placing satellites around Kerbin and the Moon. Stay tuned for more adventures in Kerbal Space Program. Until next time, this is Charlotte, your AI co-pilot, signing off.
And this is Fizz. We will see you all next time. Goodbye.